All right, everybody, welcome to the NBC Game of the Week. This bug got in here somehow. Came in through somehow or another. I don't know how it got in here. Anyway, chase that thing away, hopefully. As you might be able to tell now, this is not a live presentation of the NBC Game of the Week. I have some family obligations and some conflicts that are going to be going on Saturday during the late morning, early afternoon time frame, so not going to be able to do it live. So I figured the next best thing is to record it and do it as a premiere, like I've been doing some of the midweek games for the Demolition League. So that's what we're going for right now. But at least that gives you guys a chance to chat. Now I may be able to check in on the chat when this uploads at noon on Saturday. I may or may not, depending on what's going on. I'll try to drop in if I can. But anyway, we are at the May 31st, 1986 game here on the NBC Game of the Week. And it is Status Pro with the St. Louis Cardinals taking on the Cincinnati Reds. Bob Forsch taking on Tom Browning. That's the pitching matchup. You can see the starting lineups and the benches here. Bullpen for the Cardinals here, bullpen for the Reds there. Got the fast action cards here. Starting lineups are in place. Score sheet is over here off to the side, just so I can keep track of what's going on. Both pitchers are a start rating of 14 for fatigue, so they start the same place. Forsch has a slight edge. He's a 2.7 versus Browning being a 2.6, but we'll see how it plays out. And like I said, this game was played May the 31st, 1986. I'm recording it on May the 26th on a Thursday after work to get this in. And then, of course, it's going to upload on the 28th on Saturday. All right. It's a little bit early, real time, but by the time you're watching this, I can say I hope you're having a nice Memorial Day weekend. All right, we are ready to go. Vince Coleman, the speedster. And there's a note on his card that says he steals second after single on his own card. So if he gets a single off his own card, it will be an automatic steal. Don't even have to try for it or worry about it. It's just going to happen. So let's go ahead and get the game going. Vince Coleman here, Tom Browning there. 2-6 is the key number to keep it off of Coleman's card. The first flip is an 8, so we're going to Coleman. If he gets a hit off his own card, he will automatically steal second base. That's a 44, and that's a walk. Now it says steal second after single on his own card. Did not say he steals second after a walk. So I'm going to take it literally and say he does not steal second automatically. Now, it doesn't mean he won't steal second coming up really quickly right now. In fact, I'll move the Cardinal bullpen out of the way temporarily just so we can fit this in. So Coleman will be looking to run. He's an OBR of A and a stolen base of A. The stolen base chart is up in the upper left-hand corner of the board. So I'm just going to, anybody that's played Status Pro knows all about it. So I'm going to flip one fast action card, get the random number, and check the chart and see if Coleman is able to steal second base. And with the walk, we'll lower Browning down to one notch here. So the fast action card random number is a 61, and the 61 says, runner out if catcher is a TA or TB arm. All right, let's see what the arm rating of the catcher is. The catcher in this case is Bo Diaz. Bo Diaz is a TA catcher. That means Vince Coleman is thrown out trying to steal. So it had nothing to do with the speed. It was all about the arm of the catcher, and Diaz had the best arm you can have. So Coleman took a chance, but didn't pay off. So he's eliminated. One down. So Coleman, a big guy to race off the base paths. And that'll bring up switch hitting Willie McGee, who's almost as fast. Not quite, but almost. It's a 5. We're under Tom Browning. See what Browning does. 27. That's a strikeout. So out number 2 as he gets the K on Willie McGee. That's 2 down. And that'll bring up Van Slyke. That's an 11, so we're under Van Slyke's card. That's a 61. Van Slyke 61 is out. He's a left-handed normal hitter. So we'll see what kind of out we have. It is a pop-up to first, but there is an asterisk there. First baseman is Pete Rose. And we'll check Pete Rose's error rating. He's an E2. So we make sure we don't have an E2 on here. We do not, so Pete Rose makes the catch and the inning is over. So what started out promising for the Cardinals comes up empty-handed thanks to the caught stealing. And now we go to the bottom of the first. And Bob Forsch, the righty, Finishing up his warm-up tosses, we'll be facing the speedy Eddie Milner. So let's see what happens here. He is a 2-7. That's a 5, so we're under Forsh. 52, that's an out, so Milner's a left-handed power hitter. Now everybody, all of them get the same out, which is a ground out to the catcher. Catcher Mike Heath, we need to check his error rating. Heath's error rating is a 3, so we're checking to make sure he did not make an error. And he did not, so it's a 2-3 ground out for out number 1. Oops. And Eddie Milner is retired, and up comes Pete Rose, player manager. For a 12, we're under Pete Rose. That's a 21. 21 under Pete Rose is a base hit. That'll knock Forsh down to 1, and we'll check for an error. The base hit is to right field, so we're checking Van Slyke, and there's no error there. But Pete Rose gets himself a base hit, trying to show his team how to do it. And Pete Rose is on with a 1-out single. Certainly no threat to run. He's an OBR of C. I don't think you want to try anything. And here comes the Cobra, Dave Parker. 7, so we're under Forsh. 36, and that's a wild pitch. So Rose will go to second base on the wild pitch. I don't believe you reduce anything on a wild pitch, though. Pretty sure you don't. I'll double check the rules just to be on the safe side, but I'm pretty sure you don't lower it. Let's see here. Let me just double check a pitcher reduction. It does say you reduce it by 1 on a wild pitch. According to the rules, you do, so he goes down to 12. Good thing I checked. All right, so Parker's still at the plate, but Rose is in scoring position now. 7, so we're still under Forsh. 12, that's a base hit. We'll check for an error because it's off the pitcher card. There is no error, but it is a base hit to left field. Now, the question is, does Rose want to try to score? He's only an OBR. He's only an OBR of C. The base hit was hit to left field. According to the chart here, to score from second to home on any outfield area. Check the left fielder arm. Left fielder is Coleman. Let's see what kind of arm Coleman has. Coleman's arm is a T3. So the cross-reference T3 to a C is 11 through 46. 11 through 46, Rose can score, or we stop him at third with 1 out at the runners at the corners for Max Venable. And I think Pete Rose thought about going, but they did hold him up. So he will stand fast at third base. With runners are now at the corners with only 1 out. And Max Venable, the batter. Kind of unusual to have Venable hitting cleanup. That's really a strange, you wouldn't necessarily think of him as a cleanup guy. And for some reason I can't find my Parker base runner. I don't know where he went. There he is. All right, so Parker's at first. Rose is at third. Runners are at the corners. We do reduce him down by another one for the base hit. So runners are at the corners. 1 out for Max Venable. The infield's going to play back for a double play. See what happens. Forsh. 6, so we're under Forsh. 38. 38 is an out, just barely. And he's a left-handed normal hitter. Left normal is a fly to right field. The question is it a sacrifice fly? That's the question. So on a fly out to right field, let's look at the chart. They come with these game charts for all the base running situations. So we'll go to first and third. Men on first and third. A fly ball to right field. It says fly out to right field. Runners hold. OBR A, B, or C scores. So Rose is a C, so he will come in and score on the sacrifice fly. So sacrifice fly to right by Venable. Rose comes in to score, and the Reds lead it 1-0 here in the bottom of the first. Max Venable, productive out. There are now 2 outs. And that brings up Buddy Bell. For some reason, they have Dave Bell on his card. I don't know why. I guess that they got it mixed up with his son or something, but it is Buddy Bell. Of course, Buddy's real name could be Dave. I have no idea. I always call him Buddy. 9 is going off Bell's card. 86, though, is going to be an out. Right normal hitter. Grounds to second, but there's a star or asterisk there, so we're going to check the second baseman, Herr, for an error. 4-10 is Herr, got an error rating of 4-10. His error rating is only a 1, so he escapes the error. He makes the play, and the inning is over. But the Reds do get a run on the sacrifice fly from Max Venable and lead it 1-0 after 1. And now Tom Browning coming out with a 1-0 lead to protect. It'll be Jack Clark leading things off for the Cardinals against Mr. Browning. That's a BD, but nobody's on base, so we just ignore it. That's a 10, so we're going under Clark's card. And that's a 22. That could be trouble. 22 is a straight-up home run from Jack Clark. 21-24 is a home run, so 22 is a goner. You take Browning down 1 for the hit and 1 for the run, and just like that, it's a 1-1 ball game. So Jack Clark just powdered one over the left field fence. Leadoff home run ties the game at 1. Here's Tommy Herr. 10, we're under Herr. 48 isn't out. He's a switch normal. Switch normal is a ground ball to short, but we're checking an error on Concepcion. See if there's any kind of error on Concepcion. He is an error rating of 3. That's a none. So Concepcion does make the play. 1 down. For the catcher, Mike Heath. He's in there because of the lefty. Normally LaValliere would catch, but since Browning the lefty's on, they're playing the platoon percentages. Sorry. 3 is under Browning. 43. That's a wild pitch, but nobody's on base, so it's just considered ball 1. We'll redo everything. We're under Heath this time. 18. Heath 18 is a double to right field. We'll check for a potential error. And it is no error on the play, but it is a double from Mike Heath. So Whitey knew what he was doing, bringing in the right-handed hitting catcher against the left-handed hitting Browning, because Heath just stroked a double. Knocks Browning down to a 10. 1 out, runner at second for Ozzie Smith. Browning, 12, we're going to Ozzie. 31 under Ozzie Smith. 31 is a double to center field, so back-to-back doubles. That the hit and the run will score to give the Cardinals a 2-1 lead. So Ozzie Smith, and we need to check for an error also because it was off the batter card. So we'll check an error here, and there's no error. I think I might have checked an error off the pitcher card by mistake earlier, but I think we got it straight now. So back-to-back doubles, and it's now 2-1 St. Louis over the Reds. Still only 1 out, and here's Terry Pendleton. First base is open. The pitcher does come up next, but then you got Vince Coleman, so not sure how they want to. I think the Reds are going to play this straight up. 7, we're under Terry Pendleton. 86 is going to be an out. If it was 87 to 88, he would get a hit off the platoon advantage, but since it's 86, it will be an out. Switch normal. Switch normal, fly to left. I don't think the runner can go to third on this, but I will verify it by the charts. Man on second. Man on second, fly to left. Nope, runner's hold. Doesn't matter what the OBR is. You can't move up. So that's 2 down. And that'll bring up the pitcher spot, Bob Forsch. We go to Browning. And we're under Browning's card. But it's an 18. How about that? And when you get a hit off the pitcher card, it's an automatic 2-base advancement. So Ozzie Smith will score. That'll be the 3rd run for the Cardinals. They now lead it 3-1. So how about that? An RBI single from Bob Forsch coming off the the pitcher card. Don't have to check for error. You just have to know it's a 2-base advancement. So Bob Forsch, the Forsch was with him on that one, and he gets a 2-out single. And now Browning's really in deep doo-doo. So Browning now will go down to a 6 for the hit and the run. And that brings up Vince Coleman back to the top of the order. Browning can be short-lived in this game. 10 is Coleman. 82 will be an out. Switch normal. It's a fly to center to end the inning as Milner puts it away, but a prosperous inning for the Cardinals here in the second, picking up 3 runs. And they take a 3-1 lead as we go to the bottom of the second. Concepcion will lead off as Forsch has now been given a 2-run lead to protect. 9, so we're under Concepcion. 25 is a base hit to right. Check for an error. There is none, so it's a leadoff single for Dave Concepcion. He starts out with a leadoff single. And that'll knock Force down to a 9. So Concepcion is on, down 3-1. They're not going to try to run. Here's Bo Diaz. 3 is under Force. 45 is an out. Diaz is a right normal. That's a G3A, which means the runner is going to advance to second base automatically. We are checking an error on the first baseman, Clark. Make sure there's no error. There is none. So the out is recorded. 3 unassisted. And Concepcion does take second base. So he's at second with 1 out, and that brings up the second baseman, Oster, with Browning on deck. 8, so we're under Oster. 43 struck him out. So big strikeout there as he gets Oster for out number 2. And now I should be able to get out of the inning with Tom Browning, you would think. 5, we're under Force. 78, that's definitely an out. Ground ball to short. We're checking the error on Ozzie Smith. There is no error. And Force gets out of the jam. So after 2 complete, it is still 3-1. Favor of the Cardinals. That'll bring up Willie McGee to lead off the top of the 3rd against Mr. Browning. 9, so we're under McGee. 46 for McGee is going to be an out. Switch normal. Pops it up to short. 1 away. So 1 down as Concepcion put it away. That brings up Andy Van Slyke. 5, we're under Browning. 25, that's a strikeout. Browning gets the K, so Browning trying to get back in the swing of things after that rough second inning. Here's Jack Clark. That's a 6, so we're under Browning. 74, that's an out. He's a right-handed power hitter. He grounds to second. That is going to be Oster with checking an error, and there's no error. So a 1-2-3 inning for Tom Browning, much to his relief. We go to the bottom of the 3rd, still 3-1 Cardinals. And yes, I have the windows open because it's nice out here after all this rain. We're finally getting some decent air and comfortable temperature, so I want to get some fresh air in the house. And Eddie Milner will lead things off, top of the order for the Reds against Mr. Force. 8 means we're going to Milner. 57, he's out, left-handed power hitter. It's a ground ball to second. We're checking the error on Tommy Herr, and there is no error. So easy play there for Mr. Herr. 1 down, and that's going to send up Pete Rose. 9, we're under Rose. 88, he gets the platoon advantage because when a left-handed hitter faces a right-handed batter, 88 says it's a single. So that's the one place on the board where you get the left-right advantage. And Pete Rose is now 2 for 2. How about that? Pete trying to show him how it's done. Force will drop to an 8. So with 1 out, it'll bring up the Cobra, Dave Parker. 4, we're under Force. 73, he's definitely out. Ground ball to first with the runner advancing again because of that A. We're checking the error rating on Clark, but there's no error there. Rose will take second, and Parker is out 3 unassisted. So Rose is in scoring position for Max Venable. 8, we're under Venable. 65, though, he is going to be out to left normal, which means he grounds to short. Checking Ozzie Smith for an error, and there is none. There was none on this side, so it didn't matter that it was flipped by accident. So the inning is over. 3 innings are in the books, and it's 3-1 Cardinals. And now we will take the fast action cards, turn them over, and shuffle. And Rose was left on second, unfortunately. So Browning has a 6 left on his fatigue, and Force has an 8. And what it simply means is if you get to 0, then that means every result comes off the batter card from there on out for that pitcher. So you don't have to wait till he gets to a 1 to take him out, but it's advisable if he does get down below 1 that you take him out. All right, so happy Saturday, everybody. Like, again, apologize for not being able to go live, but hopefully Memorex is the next best thing. All right, here is Tommy Herr And Herr steps up against Browning. Herr, the first time up, grounded to short. 9 were under Herr. 76, though, he's going to be out. Switch normal. And he flies to center. So Eddie Milner puts it away. And that's now 5 in a row retired by Browning. So maybe he's settling in a little bit. Here's Mike Heath. He had that big double and scored his first time up. 11 were under Heath to 56. He's going to be out. He is right normal, and it's a grounder to short, but there is an asterisk, so we're checking Concepcion for a possible error. There is none. Concepcion makes the play, and there's 2 down for Ozzie Smith, the Wizard of Oz. 4, they're under Browning. 83, he's going to be out. Grounder right to Pete Rose. We're checking for an error, and there is none. Pete puts it away. In fact, he will flip to Browning, covering, since it was an error check. Well, like I do in Stratomatic, I'll do like it's an X chart, like it's a 3-1 ground out. So that's going to end the inning. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Bottom of the 4th we go. Still 3-1 favor of the Cardinals. And Buddy Bell will lead things off against Mr. Forsch. We get an 8, which is Buddy Bell. 46 for Buddy Bell is an out, right normal. We'll ground it to first. That is Jack Clark. We're checking for an error because of the asterisk. There is none. And Jack Clark will make the play. Unassisted. All right. Probably should have done 3-1. It doesn't matter at this point. I mean, not keeping defensive stats or anything. So Concepcion, the batter. 3, we're under Forsch. 63 is going to be an out. Concepcion, right normal, grounds to short. Checking Ozzie Smith for an error. And there is none, so Ozzie makes the play. 2 up and 2 down, and that brings up Bo Diaz. Let's see if Bo knows. Well, he knows to go off Forsch's card. 41's an out, and right normal is a ground ball to third. That's Pendleton, and Pendleton makes the play to end the inning. So nothing doing there in the 4th for either team. We go to the 5th. Still 3-1 is the score. And it'll be Terry Pendleton to lead it off for the Cardinals. And he'll be followed by Forsch and Coleman. See if Browning can keep it going. He's retired 7 in a row. Probably just jinxed him. 4 are under Browning. 45, that's an out. Pendleton switch normal. Flies to center. So Milner puts it away. 8 in a row retired by Browning, but he still finds himself on the short end of his 3-1 stick. So here is a BD, but nobody's on base, so skip it. CD, nobody's on base, we skip it. 11, we're going to Forsch's card. 35 on Forsch is a strikeout, so that's out number 2. And that flips the order over to Vince Coleman. 11, we're under Coleman. 42 struck him out, so Vince Coleman out on strikes, and Browning has now retired 10 in a row, going back to the final out of the 2nd inning. So Browning is focused in and you know, got his act together, but he needs some help offensively from his teammates. So Ron Oster steps up. It'll be Oster, Browning, and Milner here in the bottom of the 5th against Mr. Forsch. So 3, we're under Bob Forsch. 54, that's an out. Switch normal. Whoops, switch normal is a fly to left. So Vince Coleman puts that one away. 1 down. For the pitcher, Tom Browning. We get a 9, so we're under Browning. 56, though, that's an out. And for the pitcher, he grounds to second. Tommy Herr, error check, none. That's out number 2. So 2 down. Flip the order over to Eddie Milner. 5, we're under Forsch. 62 is definitely an out. And a left-handed power hitter lines it to third, and that's snagged by Pendleton to end the inning. So both pitchers clocked in after the first couple of innings, and they are getting it done and keeping the score right where it is for sure. All right. We go to the top of the sixth. It'll be Willie McGee to lead things off against Tom Browning. McGee, a 6, so we're under Browning. 68, that's an out. He's a switch normal. Ground ball to short with an asterisk, so we're checking Concepcion. 1 to 10, so that's an error on Concepcion. So anybody that thought if you're watching these games there's never any errors, there's one right there. Concepcion just booted it. Just booted it. So the recipient of that gift is Willie McGee. And he's an A OBR rating, so he could be looking to run, although Bo Diaz has already thrown out Vince Coleman. So you have to be careful if you want to try to send him in this situation. Let's see what they choose to do. They're going to hold him for now. Here's Van Slyke. We're not going to penalize Browning on an error. Now, let me just double check the rules. I mean, logically, you wouldn't think you'd penalize him for an error, but the game might. So let's see. I want to make sure I'm looking at the right chart here. Let's see what it says here. Pitcher reduction. It says any error, so you do reduce him. So it kind of doesn't make sense to me that you penalize the guy for his teammates committing an error, but that's what the rules say, so that's what I'll go with. So McGee is on first. Van Slyke the batter. 7, we're under Van Slyke. 61, he is going to be out. He's a left normal. And that is a ground ball to second. And when it's a GX like that, that's a fielder's choice. So no, McGee's going to be out unless there's an error. We're checking the error on Oster. There is no error, so it's a GX4, which means McGee is out on a force play, 4 to 6. And Van Slyke will be your new runner at first base. So Van Slyke takes over as the runner at first on the 6 to 4 fielder's choice. And that brings up the ever dangerous Jack Clark and his power. To 5, those who are under Browning. 51, that's an out. He's a right-handed power hitter. Right-handed power hitter, grounder to third. This might be a double play. First, we check for an error on a G5. We're checking the third baseman, Bell. There is no error, so let's go to the chart with runner on first, a G5. Double play grounder, third to first. OBRA is safe at first. Well, Jack Clark was not an OBRA. Jack Clark was an OBRC, so that will be a double play. Round the horn, 5-4-3, double play to end the inning. And pitcher's best friend comes in right there, and that erases the error from costing them anything. We go to the bottom of the 6th, and it is still 3-1 in favor of the Cardinals. Now here comes Pete Rose to lead off. He's 2 for 2 against Mr. Forsch. We got a 5, so we're under Forsch. 86, that just misses the left-right split. It had to be 87 or 88, so Rose will be out. Switch normal, and he grounds it to second. There is an error check on Oster. There is no error there, so it's a 4-3 ground out for 1 away. All right, that brings up the Cobra, Dave Parker. Clutch defense, so we skipped that. 9 is under Parker. 64 is going to be an out, left-handed power hitter. It is a ground ball to first. We're checking Clark for an error. There is no error, so Clark will handle it. 2 down. That brings up Max Venable. 9, so we're under Venable. 74, he's going to be out, left normal. And left normal is a liner right back to Forsch. He's got an error rating of 0, so he will not make an error on that. He snags it, and that's going to end the 6th inning. So the middle 3 innings were uneventful as far as runs go. So we take the cards, we turn them over, turn them around, and shuffle. For the bottom thirds or last third of the ball game, at least regulation. Both pitchers hanging in there. Forsch definitely hanging in there because he's only given up 1 run. Browning still hanging in as well, kind of a bulldog. This is a reminder who the Reds have in their bullpen available. They have Ted Power, Don Robinson, Scott Terry is from the right side. Then they have Joe Price and John Franco from the left side. So 3 righties, 2 lefties are available to them. For the Cardinals in their bullpen, they have Greg Barger, a righty. Never really heard of him. Rick Owenby, a righty. And the closer, Todd Worrell, a righty. Then you have two lefties, Pat Perry and Ken Daly. So if and when that time comes, that's who they have available. We got the cards all straight. Tommy Herr stepping to the plate. Start the top of the 7th. Alrighty, top of the 7th we go. Tommy Herr. 4, we're under Browning. 32, that's a strikeout. So Tom Browning gets a strikeout to start the 7th. Here's Mike Heath. 9, we're under Heath. 74, that's an out, right normal. Grounds it right back to Browning. He's an E7, so he's got a chance for an error, but not happening here. So Browning makes the play. 2 down, and that's going to send us to Ozzie Smith. Z, so we got a rare play happening here on a Z chart. So let's go to the Z chart, and if there's an injury, I will be using the injuries. So on a Z chart, we're going to take the next fast action card, check the random number, see what happens. Random number is an 83, and that is an injury. We got an injury check on here, so there's an injury chart right down here. So we're going to obtain a new number and see what the description of the injury is. The injury rating on Ozzie Smith, his injury rating is a 3. So we'll keep that in mind as well. It is a 71. Injury rating of 3. Use first digit of next random number. So first digit of next random number is a 7. So I guess that means he's going to miss 7 games. 71 says second hit by liner, use the injury factor. Let's see how they want to do this here. Which way are you going? Games that are to be missed. Second, well, let's see who it is first, though, because it may not be an injury to Ozzie Smith. It might be an injury to somebody else. 71 to 73 is the second hit by liner. Use the injury factor. Makes catch, runners hold. So the injury check is actually going to be on Ron Oster. So let's get his injury chance, his injury numbers. He's an injury 2. All right. So injury 2 says on here, injury 2 says use first digit of next random number. Limit is 5 games. Of course, it doesn't really matter. There's a 7 there. He's going to miss 5 games, but he makes the catch on the liner, but he's going to have to come out. He's going to miss the remainder of the game, and they will have to bring in a new person to play second base. What they may do is bring in Stillwell to play short and then move Concepcion to second. I'm thinking that's what they're going to do, and that's exactly what they're going to do. So Concepcion is going to move to second base, and Kurt Stillwell will take over at shortstop for Ron Oster. So Stillwell is in the place of Oster as a shortstop, and Concepcion is now at second base. All right, so that's, I want to make sure, I haven't had an injury check on that for a long time, so I had to make sure I try to do that the way it's supposed to have been done, and hopefully I did it correctly. But anyway, Ozzie Smith is out. That's kind of like the bottom line on that one. So we've made it to the 7th inning stretch here at, well, we're not using ballpark effects, but you can, in your mind's eye, be at Riverfront Stadium. So let me pause something here. All right, the 7th inning stretch. I am going to stand up and stretch myself, and I invite you all to stand up as well and sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." All right, it's enough. Just one stanza is enough, I do believe. All righty, we will now move on. In the bottom of the 7th. check one more thing. All right, I want to move the camera around, the phone around just a little bit. It looks like it might have been cutting off maybe some of these numbers. I'm not sure, but hopefully if that was the case, it's now being corrected. Hopefully that hadn't been happening the whole game. That would be pretty bad. All right, so bottom of the 7th we go. It'll be Buddy Bell, Concepcion, and Diaz facing Bob Forsch. That's an 8, so we're under Buddy Bell. 21 under Buddy Bell is a base hit. We're checking for an error. There is none, but it's a base hit for Buddy Bell. Leadoff single. Trying to get something started. Not much of a base runner, but he's on base. That's the important part. And here's now the second baseman, Concepcion. He just moved to second base. Forsch, 10, so we're under Concepcion. 28 for Concepcion. It's a double to center field. Double to center field. We're checking for an error on the center fielder, McGee. There is none. Buddy Bell doesn't run well, so with nobody out, they're not taking any chances. They're going to hold him at third base. So runners at second and third with nobody out. And back come the Reds. And Bo Diaz, the batter. Infield for the Cardinals is playing back. They have a 2-run lead. They want to prevent a run from sneaking through the drawn in infield. 6 is under Forsch. 76, that's an out. Bo Diaz right normal. Will ground it to first. Checking for an error. 7 to 10, but I don't think Clark's error rating is that high. He's a 1, so no problems there. Now we're going to check runner advancement. Probably going to score the run, I would think. Second and third with the infield back on a G3. Infield back, batter out at first, unassisted, runner holds. OBRA runner on third scores. All right, so he has to be an OBRA to score. So it was hit so hard to the corner spot, even with the infield back. That seems kind of strange, but that's what it says. Infield back, batter out first unassisted, runner holds. You have to be an OBR of A to score. He does not have an OBR of A, does Buddy Bell. His OBR is only a C. So that's going to be we're just going to call it a 3 unassisted ground out with everybody holding. It's going to bring up the new shortstop, Kurt Stillwell. He'll get his first at bat for the injured Oster. He comes up with, in the infield now for the Cardinals, still staying back. Forsch, 8, we're under Stillwell. 58, that's an out, switch normal. Switch normal pops it up to first, so the infield fly rule, well, it's not really infield fly rule, it's just a pop to first for out number 2. And that does it for Stillwell. Now with Browning coming up, they will pinch hit for Tom Browning. And we'll figure out the bullpen in a minute. Right now they need to go to a pinch hitter. And who do you go to? Who do they go to? They're going to go to Tony Perez, the veteran. Thought about Eric Davis, but we might save him for later. Right now they want to go to the veteran Tony Perez. See what he can do. See if he has a more of a clutch performance here in the 7th inning. Tony Perez pinch hitting for Tom Browning. Let's see what happens here. Forsch, or under Forsch, so it didn't matter anyway who you had. 83 is out. Right-handed normal is a deep fly to left, so it would have been a sac fly had there been less than 2 outs. But instead it's merely a deep fly to left, hauled in by Vince Coleman, and the inning is over. So that's going to do it for the Reds here in the the bottom of the 7th. We go to the top of the 8th, we will need a new pitcher for Cincinnati. It's Pendleton, the pitcher spot Forsch, and then Coleman. So switch hitters abound, so it may not even matter who they bring in at this point. It looks like, though, they're going to bring in Ron Robinson. So Ron Robinson is going to come on as the new pitcher for Cincinnati, taking over for Browning, who went 7 innings, giving up 3 runs. And he faced 25 batters. All right. And the relief rating for Robinson is an 8. So Concepcion and Bell both were at second and third, nobody out, and they could not get the run home. That could very well be the difference in the ball game. We shall see. There's still 2 innings to go, so anything can happen. All right, Ron Robinson's a 2.7 PB rating. Pendleton, 4, we're under Robinson. 64, that's an out. Switch normal. Switch normal is a pop-up to third, one away. And now, do we get a pinch hitter for Bob Forsch? I think we will. I think they're going to cap Forsch at 7 innings. So we'll get a pinch hitter for Bob Forsch. He's going to go 7 innings as well, and he faced 27 batters. So the pinch hitter coming up for Forsch, let's see who that's going to be. Looks like it's going to be switch hitter Jose Oquendo. So Jose Oquendo will pinch hit here in the top of the 8th for Forsch. So Oquendo is your pinch hitter. And let's see what happens. Robinson's a 7. That's a 3, so he controls it. 26 is a strikeout, so he struck out Oquendo. So really, in that case, it didn't matter who you brought in. He was going to strike out based on the control by Robinson. So 2 down, and that's going to bring up the top of the order and Vince Coleman. 3, we're under Robinson. 31, that's a strikeout to end the inning. So Robinson, 1, 2, 3, didn't mess around. And we go to the bottom of the 8th. We need a new pitcher for St. Louis. Coming up for the Reds, it'll be Milner, Rose, and Parker. So they will go to a lefty, Ken Daly. Ken Daly will be on for the Cardinals. And for Ken Daly, his relief rating is a 7. He is a PB 27. PB 27 for Daly. So Ken Daly is on to pitch here in the 8th. And Milner will lead things off. Lefty on lefty. 11, we're under Milner. 75, though, is an out. Left-handed power hitter. And he will ground to short, checking the error on Ozzie Smith. 7-10, but Ozzie Smith nowhere near that kind of error rating. He's an E2, so he will make the play. 1 down. And the leadoff man is retired. Here's Pete Rose. See what he can do. He's not going to pinch it for himself, obviously. 7's under Daly. 18's a base hit. So base hit for Pete Rose. That's his 3rd hit of the game. Pete Rose. He is 3 for 4, all singles. But he's on board, bringing the tying run to the plate in Big Dave Parker. 6 for under Daly. 31 is a strikeout. And that's how critical the control of that at bat was. On a 31, Daly strikes out. On a 31, Parker hits a home run. So had that PB rating PB number been over 8 or higher, we'd have a tie ball game right now. But that's where the control comes in. Second out, big out there. And here's Max Venable, but he will be called back. They will pinch hit for Venable with Eric Davis. So Eric Davis is going to come on and pinch hit in a big spot. He is the tying run. So Davis will be on. And for Davis, he will take over in left field in the 9th inning. So Davis is on. That leaves Asaski, Rowden, and Butera as the bench players. So right now, Daly with 2 outs facing Eric Davis. 9, we're under Eric Davis. 34, oh, he just missed it. It's a strikeout. 32 or better would have been a home run. 34 was a strikeout, though. So Eric Davis down on strikes here in the 8th. It took a shot, and it almost paid off, but not quite. And we go to the 9th. Still a 3-1 ball game. Ron Robinson's going to stay out there. Why not? He dispatched the Cardinals 1, 2, 3 in the 8th, so why not leave him out there? Willie McGee will start things off in the 9th. 10's under McGee. 44 McGee is an out, barely. Switch normal, pops to short. 1 down. That brings up Van Slyke. 10, we're under Van Slyke. 17, that's a base hit to right field. No error, but Van Slyke is aboard on a 1-out single. Just 1 out here in the top of the 9th. Van Slyke with the base hit brings up Jack Clark. Robinson to Clark. 6 run to Robinson. 26, that's a strikeout. Struck him out. Big strikeout there, 2 down. And that'll send up Tommy Herr. Switch hitter. 8, we're under Herr. 71, he's out. Switch normal. Lines it right to Robinson to end the inning. And we go to the bottom of the 9th in a 3-1 game. Daly will be coming out. And it will be their closer, Todd We Are the Worrell. He will be coming on to pitch. He is a PB 2.9. Fatigue rating of only 5, but you don't need much fatigue rating when you have a 2.9. You control almost everything, seemingly. And I'm going to take these cards that have already been used and get them out of the way and kind of clear up some space here. So Worrell will be your new pitcher. And he'll be facing Bell, Concepcion, and Diaz. They only have righties on the bench, so I guess we're going to stick with who they have. So may not matter that much. Worrell against Bell. 6 for under Todd Worrell. 85, that's an out. And a right normal. Grounds to short, checking Ozzie Smith. There is no error, 1 away. So the Cardinals 2 outs away rather from wrapping this up. Here's Concepcion. 6 for under Worrell. 32 is a strikeout, so that's 2 down. As Worrell just blew it by Concepcion. Now it's all up to Bo Diaz. Last chance for the Reds. 8 is still under Worrell. 57, that's an out. So unless it's an error, the game's over. Right normal. Liner to Ozzie Smith. And does Ozzie snag it? He certainly does. And there's your ball game. Ozzie Smith catches the line out to end the ball game. Worrell comes in, pitches a 1-2-3 9th inning. 1-2-3 9th inning to earn the save. Bob Forsch gets the win. Tom Browning takes a tough loss. Robinson pitched well, 2 innings, only faced 7 batters. Let's check the hits for both teams. 3-1. That 3 runs in the second held up the entire way. So let's check hits for the Cardinals. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see, 4, 5. I got them for 5 hits. So I've got them for 3 runs on 5 hits and no errors. Check their left on base. 1, 2. I only got them leaving 2 runners on base. So when they got them on, they got them in. Let's check the Reds for their base hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got them for 7 hits. Only thing with the Reds, 6 of those 7 hits were singles. Only extra base hit was Concepcion's double. And we'll check left on base for Cincinnati. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Left on 6. So Cincinnati put a run up in the first, but that was it. That's all they did offensively the whole game. And Cardinal pitching took over from there. Cardinals win it 3-1. Final line score, 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors, and 2 left for the Cardinals. 1 run, 7 hits, 1 error, and 6 left for the Cincinnati Reds. Winning pitcher, Bob Forsch. Loser, Tom Browning. The save to Todd Worrell. Next Saturday, hopefully we'll be back live and back in the normal swing of things. It will be back to inside pitch. It'll be the Houston Astros visiting the Los Angeles Dodgers at Chavez Ravine in Los Angeles on inside pitch. That'll be next Saturday. And like I said, hopefully that will be live. So hopefully this one came out okay, even though it was recorded and done as a premiere. Hopefully it did all right. Hopefully you guys had fun chatting and are enjoying your Memorial Day weekend. Did want to get this in and not skip a week, so wanted to keep it going. This is the only way I could do it with what was going on. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, how you choose to play it. And as usual, I will see you all down the road.